Yeah, I heard you like the word witness, so I made a witness character and put it into the font. That was DF, by the way. DF did that. That was me retelling his existence as a joke, as the opener to this castover, where I'm going to be looking at Parabola, and I am indeed a witness character. That's my character name. And we're going to come in and check out some AI. Let's check them out. Since the last time I casted over on Parabola, the map has not changed, so the same base layout issues that we witnessed are likely to repeat here. However, the AI has received some pretty nice updates, so I wanted to document some of those. I did most of those earlier today on stream, actually. I'm recording this on the 30th of June. We are closing out the month with some nice video content. I've been working pretty diligently on some additional stuff that I'll get into later. For now, let's meet our competitors. We got ourselves some Zaffre. Zaffre? Idiot moron didn't have enough money for his depot Terrans. Actually, it was a barracks. Okay, I take it back. And we have some Vermilion Protoss. Those guys are going to be duking it out against our yellow Terrans and our tomato Terrans. Tomato. Probably one of the better colors. It's got nothing on pumpkin, but then again, who does? Anyway, let's continue on. You know, talking of the fact that the AI repeatedly will start building something and then have no money for it and then have to fly back and pretend nothing happened. That wastes so much time for workers. And at the same time, it's like, how did Blizzard program the AI to be able to spend money that it's already theoretically spent? Like, it goes into the negatives all the time when I'm looking at the debug plugin. And, like, at the same time, like, stuff like that will happen where they'll literally, like, order the unit to go build, but it won't order it the same way a human player does. They did a bunch of weird abstractions. And you know what? That encapsulates a lot of issues with the Blizzard Lard code model, where you just have issues where the AI behave using systems that are like a complete abstraction over what the player does. I don't think you should have to have like a third of all functions in the entire game be dedicated to how the AI work. Ideally, you just have like a script that executes commands that the same way the player executes commands. Like, whatever function spends money shouldn't have to be like rewritten or specialty written for AI. and it seems like it does. It's like AI spend money, AI manage requests, AI do this, AI do that. It's like, why are there so many AI specific functions in the game? It really doesn't seem like it makes any sense. So that's me knowing the code base and seeing so many functions that are weird abstractions compared to the default way that the players interact with stuff. And I'm reminded of why so few players or modders down the years have bothered trying to include AI support. It is a nightmare, but that's okay, because this nightmare has a happy ending, I guess. You'll wake up and feel familiar presence in your pants. You'll say, wow, I didn't know I wore pants to bed. What am I, some kind of idiot? And then Ackmed will say, yeah. And that's what this Zaffre player is doing as he marches a couple of units down to their inevitable deaths, because every single player has gone bio. Talk about a nightmare. Talk about a funny castover, haha. We got an NG bay. We have no expansions from either player yet. 3 minutes in. Although, it looks like Zaffre is considering it. There he is. Oh, pathing. The triple Ackmed squad. We saw the first kill. They almost got that Mason. Here comes Ackmed. You almost got another kill. Didn't live long enough, though. What a disorganized attack. What a mess, in fact. Got a depot being built downstairs. They'll go ahead and drop that expansion shortly. Doesn't look like too many other players are interested. We do have yellow waiting for money, because again, he ordered his Mason to go down there, but doesn't have the cash, magically. And a med bay, as well as an expansion for tomato. That's interesting. The units have gone the other way, just to see, are you awake? Do you exist? And bio. More and more bio. You know what? We can say that this Zaffre player is scouting. Okay, we can say that much. Meanwhile, our 3-gator over here on the Protoss side is dropping pylons, shield batteries. He's actually got a lot of supply, and I guess he's filling it up. He must be getting a lot of requests, considering he's just dropped 2 more pylons. And then there's the 3rd gateway, which is in a bit of a roundabout place. I don't know why the Protoss AI loves to spam witnesses. I guess they just know what's up, but it is pretty funny. Meanwhile, I always wondered why the wireframe and icon and facing angle of the witness faced the opposite direction of the portrait. Like, we're seeing the portrait's ass, or the unit's ass in the portrait, judging by the way that it faces. So why? Why are they assing us? Well, I will ask you that question later. Speaking of Walmart, we do have Mavericks walking to their death. And I guess that's what you see in Walmart. I don't know. I guess not many people walk if they're in Walmart. Huh? They kind of just use those hand carts. This has triggered our player, our Vermilion Protoss player. I remember the name. He's going to charge off and execute some more bio because Protoss units are overpowered. Developer, please nerf. Blizzard, please fix. David Kim, please make a new game with some Chinese people. And all of that was ironic, of course. Interestingly enough, the Dracodins have decided to fall back and let the Zealots do the dirty work. They will also mass up afterwards. Ecclesia's coming out for that sweet, sweet support. Probably need a couple more of those to stack up the Astral Blessing stacks appropriately. And meanwhile, we have some Terrans. They are indeed doing stuff. NG Bay is down, so a captaincy has been coming out. On this side, though, our Tomato player seems to have been very late on his expansion. And a Comstat going down for Yellow. Okay, we got some things. I love that. I love that liftoff. It did nothing. At least he landed it, man. At least he landed it. Another attack prevented. And there you go. There's a trio of Ecclesiasts. A trio of Balathal model work running down the middle of the map. Kiting forward, we love to see it, as opposed to kiting backwards. And Tomato. Tomato, tomato, tomato. You build this third base at your own peril. Especially kiting into it with a Cyprian. That probably didn't help. Bye, Ackmed. Bye, Ackmed. Oh, alright, we'll get you later. That might actually be the epic sleeper play of the whole thing, because the AI will try to refurbish that and finish it. Although all of the Harakans here are actually tearing this up. The front line's mostly evaporated, and once the front line's down, well, there's not really that many units that can benefit from the Ecclesia stacks, so the bio should actually be able to clean this up with enough time. We do have a scrapyard somewhere as well for this player, which I didn't notice. And he's actually heading up to Science Facility, tack off of just that base, while going to get his own third. And the bio's coming in. Okay, that's going to be Zaffre's play to make. Oh, that wasn't an expansion. That was a supply depot or something, like an idiot. Second scrapyard being finished, but will it be soon enough? We still only have production out of 2 barracks for this particular player. Their science facility is coming very late, and I guess this AI is just dumb. But we don't know the build order, so we can't fix it. So I'll just have to leave it on a cliffhanger. We know who the weakest link is this time, don't we? Also, if anybody knows how to pronounce Zaffre, that would be great. This is actually a pronunciation guide on how to pronounce Zaffre, believe it or not. And yeah, this battle resolved way sooner than the 2v2 that we watched before. I suppose there is still quite a bit of variance between a lot of these games. And what we're seeing now is not the AI trying to get into the bunker. There we go, he's in. Oh, he's out. Well, you know what they say. You're in some, you're out some. And yeah, the Zaffre is finalizing the deal. I pray he does not finalize it any further. All of that off of just 4 gates. Very impressive stuff from our Protoss player. He's gone to the classic Protoss school of just building gateways. And while Yellow has reposted the assault temporarily and is now going to try to kite back with his aspirant, I don't think it's working out too well for them. Oh, that Mason is attempting to... Oh, it was actually 2 stacked Masons. Holy shit, I was wondering why the shadow looks so dark. The AI knows some tricks. Unfortunately, I don't know macro. At least this guy doesn't. Whoever... This is some bring your kid to work day. This is a baby AI script. It's not even done yet. Who did this? Yellow, did you think your kid would be able to defeat the legions of Protoss and Ackmed? I don't think so. I don't think so, buddy. But I do think that despite this unceremonious end to the castover, where an AI will die and we won't even crack 10 minutes of actual game time, I'm still, I gotta say I'm still quite happy with the way, the direction that things are going. Because at the very least, if the battle is ending soon, it means that we have at least 2 build orders that are actually competent. And you know what? Yellow seemed fairly competent himself. Maybe he could clean up his build order or whatever, and maybe V could find some way to hopefully fix the bunker management, but he's also fighting vanilla code, so whatever. Not too much that you can do about that. Oh, there was a blackjack in there. That's pretty funny. And yeah, all that to say, I'm fairly certain that we're getting to that point. We're getting to the point where just a couple of build orders left to refurbish and to fix up. And the AI in the patch of the 4th of July, actually, slated to come out on then, will grant us independence from bad AI, ? I hope. At least it'll significantly improve things. And, you know, that's all you can say. That's all you can ask for. We, of course, will have to wait. We did crack them as a game time, actually. We have to wait because Yellow was too competent to let us lose, or let him lose fast enough. But yeah, I'm quite happy with the direction that things are going in terms of improving the AI and fleshing out some of those things. I think in general, when you see the AI actually do things like train a lot of units in a short amount of time. I mean, we're 10 minutes in, and they haven't taken a huge number of bases. They've both just grabbed their thirds. I guess the Terrans are finished with theirs. The Zaffre is finished with theirs. But overall, like, you know, they haven't ascended up the tech tree to a massive degree, and we failed to achieve victory. But you might consider the option that, like, these AI in particular, these builds, could be much worse. And through my improvements, through my recent testing, we've been able to improve them and make them to the point where it's so much more obvious when you have a competent AI build, because you just get annihilated. So that was the Todds defeating the frauds, and witnessed by you as well as me. So I hope you enjoyed that, even though it was a very short cast over. That's fine. Sometimes that are like that. Pull no punches here. And hopefully, the next time we look back either on this map or on any other map that I do a cast over of, I might try some larger scale cast overs on maybe like a 6-player map or something pretty soon. Now that stability seems to be rectified, we might go back to some of the old classics. We might take a look at some of the new maps. Maybe this is even a nice PSA. If you make a map in the Cosmonarchy game state, it's a melee map, it's a scenario, whatever, and you send it to me, and you say, hey, check this out. Maybe if it's good enough, I actually do a cast over of it and put it on this channel. That would be pretty epic, huh? Just something to think about. Anyway, obviously the one sticking point is it can't be a 4v4 map unless you don't mind me running it as a 3v3, because one of the player slots has to be the observer. So besides that, though, it's pretty much fair game. So yeah, you could just throw that little thing in there. Obviously, with the mapping starter guide, the mapping primer, and follow-up episodes, one of which, the third episode of which I'm already working on, those kinds of things are trying to encourage people to check out what's possible in the Cosmonarchy game state, just to get into Brood War mapping, regardless of whether or not it's Cosmonarchy. But if you happen to make use of any of the lessons therein, yeah, there's nothing stopping me from firing up one of those maps that are made by the community, not made by me, and checking it out. So maybe that will be some of what we see on the channel very soon in the following castovers that I do. Since I'm editing the AI every day, you can expect castovers more frequently, and I guess we'll see where we are in the very next video that I upload. So stay tuned and don't die.